This video is sponsored by Blizzard Entertainment. More on them later. Because here are 100 Brawl Stars facts you probably didn't know and never needed to know. In an animation posted by the official Brawl Stars channel titled Pick on Someone Your Own Size, the B2B on Hank's helmet is positioned on the wrong side of his helmet. It should be on the right. See, mortis dashes are some of the fastest ways to move in the game, but pair that with the speed tile and you actually get slower. This is because a mortis dash, well, dashes. He isn't really walking on the tiles anymore, so all of that speed is just gone in the air. If you jiggle Mega Cold around, he looks really stupid. Just look at that. You can get a 100% reload buff on Amber if you use her reload star power, her reload gear, and help from Meg's reload gadget. Look at all that reload speed. If you look closely, Griff shoots a different type of coin than the coins we have, so that means he's using counterfeit coins. If you press ready and team chat at the same time, you can chat while you're ready, which is super useful. Ash has 27 dark bricks on him. Sam's mustache is a different color than his hair. Upon Fenrir Buzz and Megatic's release, they had no tack sound effects, which was later added in. Some brawlers aren't affected by the reload modifier like Tick or Amber, and that's quite alright. Just imagine infinite ammo Tick. Pearl is the only brawler who had her mastery title changed. It went from Just Do It to Let Me Cook, which is way better. Way back in beta when Brawl Stars was in Portrait, Piper used to drop 3 grenades when using her super, when now it's 4. Ice Queen Amber used to be an epic skin but was later changed to legendary. For the longest time it had way better effects and provided way better value than all the other epic skins, so this was a necessary change. Showdown Plus used to let you go below 0 trophies. If you didn't know, Showdown Plus is a remove game mode which gave you more trophies the more kills you got. If you got 0 kills and got 10th place, you would lose just 1 trophy, and for some reason the game glitched out in a way that made you go down to -1 trophy. If you click the area to the left of your power level in the lobby, it will show your end of season bling rewards. So if you need a few more bling for a skin, you can easily calculate what's needed. Charlie was the first ever brawler to have silver and gold textured pets, being her spiders through her silver and gold skins. Usually pets just spawn as normal, like this. Lame! There used to be a feature where you could sign in through Google Play. In Barley's pins, Angry and Fuel use the same sound effect.
What was that?
You can actually kill Miko before he comes down from his super when timed right, and surprisingly enough, you'll take 0 damage because the damage arrives after he landed. If you reach the 200 friend limit, you can override that by adding friends through Supercell ID. Despite being in her 20s, B is shown to be the youngest in the age selection screen and Dynamite being the oldest. But you don't have to be in your early 20s to be playing Warcraft Rumble. Warcraft Rumble is the first Warcraft game designed from the ground up for mobile. By taking control of your favorite characters from the Warcraft universe, you battle it out in unique missions designed to test and challenge you. It's super easy to learn, but it's difficult to master. With over 60 heroes, villains, monsters, and more, build strategies with your minis and make them thrive with your leaders into these single-player campaigns, which are my personal favorites. In the campaigns, you travel across the map battling a series of opponents until you come out victorious. Each one has a different set of moves to look out for while also keeping in mind the map itself. From here, you have to mold your army into the best possible version to take them down. But it's inevitable you will get stuck along the way. So check out the tough weekly and monthly challenges like Dungeons and Raids, which are lots of fun and provide tons and tons of loot. Or even battle it out with your guildmate in the brand new Sieges. I just love how there's always something for me to do. No matter who you are, this is the game for you. Thank you to Blizzard Entertainment for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to fact number 22. Kit actually has 2 supers, one to get on an enemy and one to get on an ally. Regardless, that second super on an ally has no name. Semi-recently, there was a glitch going around which made it so that joining a wipeout game with no bots or enemies using the rank modifier would soft lock you into an infinite loop, forever, endlessly playing the same match, over and over again, never ending, a direct parallel to life after death. Brawl Ball used to have water, making it so that the ball would sometimes get stuck in it. That's so silly. The gems and gem grabs spawn every 7 seconds, so if your enemies get 10 gems and your team has like 7 or 8, you can still win. It's possible to draw and heist, though it's really hard to coordinate. Super Bushy can spawn bushes on the gem mine, which is impossible to do in Map Maker, but possible with Rosa's gadget. If you fart, Hot Zone used to be based on points instead of percentage base. They also had these cool little post on them. Spikes in a custom map used to be able to pop the brawl ball and reset the position of the ball and everyone on the map, but this was just a bug and was eventually fixed. When mutations were in the game, Stu could survive infinitely by constantly supering into a wall with his healing star power. The Colt and Frank mutations technically made them the first brawlers to break walls with their base main attack. Mutations were the most overpowered thing ever added to Brawl Stars, but there were 2 which were even more overpowered than that, being Rico and Ruffs, who had to be nerfed due to how bouncy their shots were. Take that in. again, the overpowered thing had to be nerfed because they were too overpowered than the other overpowered things. What? On the topic of mutations, Hank has the fastest heist safe kill ever with his mutation. If I'm not mistaken, Lily's left fist is the wrong way around. I could be wrong here. Knockout used to have a time breaker like in Brawl Ball. When XP was in the game, you got 20 tokens per level up. The max amount you could earn in a day was 1,000. If you have over 1,150 trophies on a brawler, you can gain up to 100 base mastery. On the flip side, you gain only 5 on a 0 to 49 trophy brawler. The 10,000 trophy icon has the same design as the championship challenge icon. The power up icon for reaching 7,500 trophies has the elixir icon despite it being gone from the game. The power league icon can be obtained through ranked star drops despite it being, well, gone. Godzilla 1 and Godzilla 2 are the only icons made to be a continuation of each other. You are able to make cool combos like this, but they're not made for each other, you know? There used to be packs unlocked per level, and they were insane value. The chance to get a legendary star drop with a legendary brawler is higher than getting a legendary brawler from a brawl box. The meteors in the meteor modifier was whatever. The meteor in the meteor modifier targets groups of players to discourage teaming. The least damage possible is by using a loose super on an enemy in the Barbdemo modifier, dealing a whopping 1 damage. These are 2 bonus facts you cannot skip. Number 1, I am sponsored by Blizzard Entertainment, so check them out in the description below. Number 2, bye-bye. Beep, beep, bye-bye. When disabling bots, the spawn points closest to the bottom are disabled. If more than one spawn point is on the same horizontal line, the rightmost spawn point will be disabled. I have no idea what I just said, but it's a fact. Use skulls to fill illegal gaps in Mapmaker. Because of this, you can make hilarious maps like this. Mapmaker used to award trophies, which was honestly the golden age of Brawl Stars. You cannot get epic pins, epic skins, or epic brawlers from epic star drops. In the Chinese version of Brawl Stars, there was a 3-time star drop event. As well, there was a collab over there with Ultraman, which brought 2 new skins, one for Primo and one for Fang. We never saw this in Global. There are 503 maps in the game, not including Mapmaker, of course. The pet power gear affects Tara's, so in theory, you could run this and get 0 value if you have no star powers or gadgets. The Squad Buster Shelly skin is her super form in Squad Busters. Despite being a brawler, new brawlers show up in the cosmetics tab. Draco's super deals less damage at max range, kinda like Leon. But you'll barely notice this though, because since each projectile deals so little as is. I never knew this until now, but the heist safe is scaled to a team's average level, like Showdown boxes. I always thought it was the same health all around, but it makes sense. I'm just a little bit silly. The mini robot is one of the only survivors from early designs of Brawl Stars. In fact, it could have been a playable character as well. I don't know what it could have done, but that's pretty cool to think about. The bots in Robo Rumble used to spawn dependent on the brawler's position, which made cheeses like this one super easy to pull off. Fortunately, they changed it to how it is today, though the game mode still sucks. The first ever 100,000 trophy player was this Chinese guy. In the global version, it was Hyra. I won't ever make that mistake again. The first ever person to have a 325 trophy Gus, who's power 9 with both gadgets and no gears or star powers, with 402 mastery points and bought Boy Scout Gus with gems, is me. On Spotify, there are only 12 songs published by the official Brawl Stars channel. There's this supply crate in the files, which is likely an early rendition for the rough super. There's also some unused sprays which look like directional arrows, which I wish we had. This would be so useful. The safe used to be black. In this X post by Trash Knight, they documented every single instance where Ash showed up in official material. I'm not gonna read it all, you can go get it. Shelly has 2 pets, a chicken which can be traced back to old concept art for her, and a cat which you can see when with Shelly and Hoodoo Shelly. Future Mayo here. She has an owl in Hoodoo Shelly, so she has 3 pets. Colt is strongly hinted at being Belle and Sam's child. Squeak has some pins on his model with Kit, Ruffs, and Squeak. However, Kit isn't part of Ruff's trio. Usually the Brawl Stars jiggle physics aren't the most accurate thing ever, but I found it interesting that the IOU note on the back of Griff flaps around pretty realistically. Barley's super used to stack on top of each other, which is way better than the garbage ass super we have now. The bullet shot at Mandy in her animation is most likely Piper's bullets. Bonnie and Clyde were real people. Bonnie and Clyde. Real bandits and serial killers. Most of Sun Wukong Miko's voice lines are actual references to the original story of Wukong and its sequel. Colonel Ruffs and Rico are the only brawlers with a name change. Ruffs went from Colonel Ruffs to Ruffs, and Ricochet to Rico. Wow! Shelly's iconic band-aid on her cheek was removed with a remodel, but added back shortly later, probably after some intense backlash from the community. Piper and the Little Prince from Clash Royale have the same voice actor. There used to be a gear called the Resistance gear. This thing was insane. It basically made you more resistant to effects like a shorter poison duration or less stun in a Frank super. Actually, it kinda sucked. I don't know what I'm talking about. Clubs were called bands. Masteries were leaked way before they were released, and bots were using their mastery profile pictures for themselves. Ultra Driller Jackie and Retro Nani weren't shown in the Summer of Monsters Brawl Talk despite being in the Summer of Monsters lineup of skins released during the Summer of Monsters. 8-Bit's Plug can be put into Surge's body, making them compatible. Frank's noise cancellation gadget can cancel a kit's stun, being one of the only ways to counter it. Gold Medalist Ricochet was the original name for Loaded Rico. It also cost way less gems. Gems used to be called crystals. Daryl used to have no pupil. There used to be rank up bonuses, which was gold. Power cubes used to look like this. Skins used to be sold in increments of 20 gems or 100. I'm not sure if there were others. Friendly rooms used to only have 5-letter codes. Now it's 8, presumably due to the player size expanding. If you use Miko's super and you die before it activates, you can hear his landing sound a few seconds later. Miko is the only brawler with brown hair, and no, I'm not counting Griffer's hand. The old health gear healed you when you stood still, and it really kinda sucks. Tapping on a brawler will make them recite a voice line. Factually, not objectively, the classic skin for Brawl Pass skin recolors are always the worst option of the bunch. If you zoom in really close on brawler portraits, you can see the rarity color peek through behind them. Colette is the only brawler with sharp teeth. Thank you to Blizzard Entertainment for sponsoring today's video.